Yes, exactly. So I never sprinted for the longest time. I could usually depend on myself to get 1,000 decent words in an hour, and that's how I worked. And it was just recent that I discovered sprints. I know a lot of you probably, how many of you guys sprint? A lot of you guys do, yeah. And I kind of just never wanted to do it, never had any desire to try it because my word count was pretty good the way I was working. But just recently I discovered the most amazing thing, 15-minute sprints. And they are a gold mine. I'm not even lying. How many of you, have you guys done 15-minute sprints?
I do 20.
I think Megan says she does 20. I have some friends who do 25 because they just feel they need a little more time to get into what they're writing. But 15 I found works really well for me. And seriously, you just start, you set your timer and you just start typing. And you don't stop until that timer goes off. And it really doesn't matter what you get on the page, just go. Let your brain guide you, let your fingers guide you. And what I've found is in 15 minutes, I get anywhere between 550 and 850 words. That comes out to about 2,000 words in 45 minutes, guys. So Megan said she's a 5,000 worder a day. Mm-hmm. You can do that in 2.5 hours, 2 to 2.5 hours doing 15-minute sprints.
Yeah.
I think probably most people can get, for those of you who do sprints, how many words do you get in your sprint? Never stopped to count, or?
About 1,000 in a half hour, a 25-minute sprint.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
she
excellent.
said 1,000.
That's excellent.
Yeah. My goal every time is 1,000 words in 20 minutes. And like I said, I write it down. I start with what my word count is, and then I set that goal, and then I write it down, and I give myself a check mark.
And I do it a little differently. I don't have an actual word count goal for the sprint. I just get as many as I can. And like I said, it's always between 550 and around 850. So I'd say my average is probably 675, 700, which will get me 2,000 in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's...
And you might look like that, like, cat gif was like... and, like, my wife will walk by, because I have French doors in my office, and during sprints, and she's like, you look insane. And like I'm talking to myself and I feel like drool's coming out and I'm like, this is happening. Yeah. But like when you finish, you're like I just did 1,000 words. I just did so many words, and it's the best thing ever. But you have to make sure that, one, if you are a procrastinator or someone who gets distracted easily by social media, like myself, you need to turn off your internet. And sometimes I'll go to my thesaurus because I'm like, oh, what's it? And I'm like, oh, my internet is off. And so I'll just like highlight it and be like, I want a different word for that.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that's turned off. Make sure your phone cannot distract you. So if your phone does distract you easily and you're using it as a timer, get something else as a timer and put that phone away somewhere else. Because it's going to be a huge distraction, and these are things that I easily get distracted by.
Yeah, I've actually had my phone ring in the middle of a sprint, and I just ignore it. Because I use my phone for timer.
Yeah,
because it's
so
right
do
there.
I.
So,
yeah.
And I ignore it. But unless it's, like one of my kids or something, but, I wouldn't do that.
I can't talk to you right
now. I know. But yeah, distraction free. And I'm actually a little different. I will, after I've done like 3 15-minute sprints and I'm feeling really good about myself and I've got 2,000 words on the page, then I'll give myself permission to okay, I can get on Facebook for 5 minutes and see what's going on. And,
I thought you were going to say you were going to give yourself a drink.
Oh, no.
I don't know why.
No.
Cocktail time.
Yeah. Only if it's a love scene and I'm having issues with it. No, it's like, yeah. A glass of wine helps with love scenes sometimes if you're having trouble. Sometimes, yeah. Does for me. Whatever.
I like club music for some reason. That's been my go-to. I'm like, oh yeah.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works.
Yeah.
Hey.
All right.